What's up, guys? Josh with Navigate the Wild. I wanted to shoot a video really quick on how to buy beef in bulk at like a Sam's Club. I was going to get a few ribeyes today. There was like 3 ribeyes for 40 bucks, which isn't terrible, but eating carnivore, you're going through a lot more beef, and they weren't grass-fed, grass-finished for the price. And so I kept looking around and I found something else, a beef round whole, a beef round eye whole. And what I want to do is just kind of show you, if you're on a budget, you're looking to eat a lot of beef, and you're trying to buy in bulk, Sam's Club is proving to be good. I got organic ground beef there for just under $5 a pound today. I picked up like 3 pounds. But then I got this beef round eye whole, and I'm going to break this thing down for you, kind of show you, instead of getting 3 ribeyes, I wound up with 6 pounds of beef, and I'm going to trim it a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it up. Depending on what kind of fat we have inside on the meat, I might use a meat tenderizer on it. I'm going to show you that process. And then I'm going to show you how many steaks you actually end up with. And then we will vacuum seal them and get them in the freezer. So as you can see, this was $25.34. So I could have got 2 of these for the price of, 5 ribeyes today. So I've just never had this before, and if I did, I didn't know it. I just figured I'd try something else. So let's break this thing open and let's start processing it and seeing what kind of marbling, what kind of steaks we have with it. We're going to do some trimming on this, obviously. Good fat content on the outside. Let's do some minimal trimming here. Remember, fat is flavor, and so we don't want to get crazy, especially if we start cutting steaks out of this and there's not much beef inside. Normally with game meat, what I'll do is I'll do minimal trim at first, and then once I start cutting them into the steak thickness, then from there I'll trim it even more once I have it sectioned out. That's what we're going to do here. Steak we have. Okay, minimal marbling on the inside, which is fine. We'll use a meat tenderizer to make this a little more tender. I'm just going to cut this in the steak thickness I like, which will be probably about an inch a piece. That end cap will just cut off. I like everything uniform. There's a lot of fat there. That's not a problem. Nice little petite steak. I'll still eat that. For $25.34, you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 steaks instead of 3 or 4. And those are great. So we're just going to trim off a little bit of this end cap stuff. I'm not going to get crazy with it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I might even keep a few of those on just to kind of see. It almost resembles like prime beef fat, a prime rib beef fat. That one's not too bad. I'm going to keep that one. And if this isn't a good cut, then I don't buy it again. I like being able to make something out of the cheaper cuts. Growing up as a kid, we didn't really have many options. Now we're able to have a lot more options. Even in these crazy economic times, God's still graceful, and we're able to have beef in our lives. Thank you, Lord. I would probably use this as stew meat, which I still love. I chunk it up, put it in the crock pot, put it in the Dutch oven, and it'll be tender, it'll be good, and it'll just be chunks of beef, which are great. We're going to get rid of our fat, and then we're going to tenderize. I'll show you that. This is not trash. This fat here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to vacuum seal this and freeze it, because when it comes time to make burger, especially when I'm making venison burger, that's the fat I will add into it. And I like a 4-to-1 ratio. Every 4 pounds of venison, I will add a pound of fat, and that will end up with about an 80-20 blend, which is perfect, especially for game meat. So with steaks like these, we use the X Special meat tenderizer, and you can't poke enough holes in meat. It just tenderizes it more and more each time you use it. So we hit these things a number of times, almost making it like cube steak. It's not that beat up, but we put enough holes in them, and it's fantastic for game meat as well, because sometimes game meat is just tough. We got the beef tallow, so because of the lack of fat in the meat, we'll use the beef tallow and put it on there instead of as a binder instead of olive oil, and attach our Redmond's real salt to it, and we are in business. There you have it. We've got some nice steaks. I'm gonna keep 2 out and I'm gonna salt them down, let them dry out a little bit. The other ones we're gonna vacuum seal. I'll show you how that works and show you the finished product. Next step, we're gonna vacuum seal these steaks. So we got our Food Saver vacuum sealer here. Let's unlock it. We got a roll of vacuum seal. It only takes a few seconds. And then I'll probably vacuum seal 2 steaks together at a time. 2 steaks. And this is what we do with all of our game meat. We go through a lot of this each year. You always want to keep a little room there. We're going to vacuum it. Now it's sealing. There you have it. Now, the last step I'll do is I will actually wrap this in butcher's paper, tape it away. Over time, these don't last long. We go through it a lot. We eat a lot of meat, obviously. But the butcher paper just allows that extra layer of protection, especially when you're defrosting these. Sometimes what will happen is there will be a pinhole somewhere and you won't find it, and then you get blood all over the place or something. So I'll just take that extra step and I will butcher paper this, and it's easier to store away when you have this in butcher paper. All right, so here you have it. We've got our fat. It's ready to go. We've got steaks ready to go. We're gonna wrap them in butcher paper and put them in the freezer. All right, and there you have it, all wrapped up, ready for the dance. I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and we've got potentially 4 meals there, plus some fat for the burger.